Okay, I am making this video to show the airsoft rifle that I modified to fit the Ruger 1022 in. People have been having problems with the adjustments on the trigger. The trigger's not functioning properly. So, one of the major things is, I don't know if you can see it, but should be about, with it uncocked, it should be about 1/8 of an inch gap between the trigger and the wire. Okay, when you cock it, that goes away. There is down to just barely touching it to a 1/16 of an inch gap with it cocked. Okay, when you pull the trigger, it comes back and you should have about 1/8 of an inch gap again. Okay, if you've got yours set there, that should function right. The way to adjust that, take your Ruger out, get your pliers. You can bend it forward or back to get what you want. You can bend it this way to get what you want. Usually I use a pair of pliers here and another pair here, or here, to bend the wire so not to tear these bearings out. But anyway, adjusting this, very little movement is all it takes. A little bit of movement is a lot for this. Okay, again, set that so that when it's not cocked and the rifle's up against the back and it's not cocked, you got about 1/8 of an inch gap. When you cock it, you've got a 1/16 of an inch gap to just barely touching. And that should clear just about everything. Now, if you've got the bull barrel in there, one of the major problems with it is the bull barrel is so much larger that it just barely fits in here, and you actually right in up against the top, and I actually have to take some off the top of the trigger to fit the barrel in there. Now, if there's any excess glue in the top of the trigger, then it actually catches the barrel, and the trigger will return very slowly or not return all the way. Now, that's a sign that you've got glue up there. If it's not firing, it's usually the adjustment back here. So you can take and clean the top of the trigger off with a file like I do, or sandpaper. Get some sandpaper and clean that out. So that should take care of it. Once you've got those two things, now on the bull barrel, because of this is so tight and you can't really tell until you've put it together, if the trigger was sticking up here, put it together, put these 3 screws in, and then test it. You know, cock it and fire it and test it. If it functions and doesn't hold or doesn't stick here, then that's taken care of. If it does stick here, your problem is the glue in the top of the trigger. If it's not firing, your problem's almost always right there, the gap. You got to get that gap right. Okay, thank you.